You're watching Times XP. I am Driti Atri, and here are the biggest stories that are making headlines across the globe today. So, let's start with it. Well, the Caribbean heats up. Tensions flare as the US naval forces move closer to Venezuela's coast. Their president, Nicolas Maduro, sounds the alarm, calling Moscow for help. Basically, a showdown between Washington and Caracas could be brewing. Maduro's call to Putin. Maduro reaches out to his key ally, Vladimir Putin. He seeks Russia's hardware, intelligence and defense cooperation, but here, Moscow's answer may not match his expectations. Russia's cautious response. Well, Russia expresses strong support for Venezuela, yes, yet analysts they sense some sort of hesitation, and that too behind Moscow's statement. Russia is already overstretched in the Ukraine war, so it's highly unlikely that he will send more soldiers to Venezuela. Putin's Caribbean dilemma. A new front near the US waters could prove too risky for him right now. Russia may limit itself to weapons and intelligence aids. Troop deployment? Highly unlikely under current strain. The geopolitical chessboard here, the US, Russia and Venezuela, they all are testing limits. In fact, each seeks influence and without triggering global escalation as well. In the meantime, the Caribbean becomes the latest arena of power play. The bigger game, the crisis is about to influence not just oil and defense. Well, Maduro wants legitimacy, Putin wants presence, Trump wants dominance. Each player here has something to prove to the world. Here's the bottom line. If war breaks out, Russia won't fight for Maduro, promises and weapons. Yes, definitely, soldiers no. Moscow's focus remains survival in Ukraine right now. Iran's stealth power play here. Tehran unveils the Shahed 161 drone, basically a black stealth bomber. It resembles America's B-2, basically shocks the defense analysts. Iran claims that it is fully AI-powered and combat-ready. The Shahed 161's capability, well, it flies 150 kilometers, 26,000 feet high, 2 hours non-stop. It carries twin precision bombs weighing 50 kg each. It's designed for swarm attacks using artificial intelligence. Here's a message to the West. Well, Iran declares technological independence at its Aerospace Expo. It signals self-reliance under decades of sanction. In fact, Tehran wants Washington and Tel Aviv to take a notice. Symbolism behind the drone. Well, the Shahed 161 mirrors America's B-2 bomber design. Well, experts call it Iran's stealth declaration of defiance. In the meantime, Tehran is showing off power, precision and pride. Political storm in New York City. New York Mayor Zoran Mamdani, he vows to arrest Netanyahu. His statement sends shockwave through the US and Israel relationship. And you know what? The arrest threat, it coincides with Netanyahu's plan to visit the United States. January 1st showdown. Mamdani takes the office the same day Netanyahu lands. Well, Trump may also attend events in New York that particular day. So basically, 3 political heavyweights, 1 explosive moment. Global spotlight on New York City. Diplomats brace for unprecedented political theater. Protest, diplomacy, accountability, everything could collide. The world watches how the US handles the clash. Hezbollah defiant stand. Well, Deputy Leader Naim Qasim, he vows that we will not disarm. He condemns Israel's airstrike as act of war. His speech, it reignites border tensions with Israel. Ceasefire in name only, while Hezbollah says that the ceasefire is a myth. Fresh Israeli strikes hit southern Lebanon towns. Civilians, well, they once again bear the burn of the conflict. US pressure accused. Qasim blames Washington for regional instability. He says America wants control and not peace. His rhetoric mirrors the growing anti-US sentiment in Beirut. Israel's record defense budget. Well, Israel approves $44.7 billion military budget for 2026. $2.2 billion is set aside to counter Iran's threats, and in the meantime, defense trumps welfare amid the economic strain. Economic strain versus security here. Inflation rises, but security spending soars. Netanyahu prioritizes protection over public welfare. In the meantime, analysts call it Israel's fear fund strategy. Message to adversaries: every Iranian missile and drone, it is right now under surveillance. Well, Israel signals readiness for any confrontation. The budget doubles as deterrence and declaration. Iran's military exhibition. Well, Tehran showcases missiles, drones, and captured Israeli wreckage. The display serves as both warning and pride. Here, observers say that it's psychological warfare at its finest. Strategic confidence. While Iran flaunts self-reliance and battlefield victories, its aim? Deterrence and domination across the region. Well, the exhibition proves Iran's growing military maturity. US-UK intelligence rift denied. That's right. Reports claim that Britain paused intelligence sharing after the US strikes. In the meantime, Marco Rubio dismisses it as false. He insists that the alliance remains strong and unchangeable. Washington's Caribbean operation, well, the US continues anti-narcotics mission, and that too near Venezuela. Targets include drug traffickers and illegal shipping networks. In the meantime, Rubio stresses that the operation will continue and the partnership is intact. Venezuela's final war plan. Maduro drafts a resistance strategy, and that too against a possible US invasion. This is his plan: turn Venezuela into a battlefield of chaos. 8 million civilians, they are actually expected to join the fight. Guerrilla resistance blueprint, urban warfare, sabotage and chaos, it defines the entire plan here. Maduro admits that his army can't face America directly. Instead, the streets become his biggest and strongest weapon. Russia's shadow support here. Well, Moscow quietly aids Caracas through advisors and arms. Here, analysts warn that this could spark a new proxy conflict. A US-Venezuela war may quickly globalize. Iraq's post-election jitters. That's right, election stirs uncertainty as leaders, they are very hungry for the power. In fact, their Prime Minister al-Sudani faces pressure from pro-Iran blocs. But one thing stays firm, and that is Iraq's bond with Turkey. Turkey's expanding influence here. Well, Ankara deepens military and economic ties with Baghdad. In fact, joint operations target PKK strongholds in North Iraq. Basically, it's a new era of regional partnership that has just begun. Well, a final balancing act here. Iraq now stands between the US, Iran and Turkey's interest. With America pulling back, Ankara steps forward strategically. The region races for the next geopolitical reshuffle. And with that, that's a wrap-up of our 30 news bulletins from around the globe. From Gaza to Israel, from Iraq to the United States, the world is changing and so is geopolitics. And TimesXP is here to give you all the latest updates that matters the most. I am Driti Atri, keeping you informed.